Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cavanaugh's Corner. Today on the show I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite movies of all time, definitely one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and that is this bad boy right here, John Carpenter's Halloween. This is really the movie that started it all in terms of slasher movies. This is definitely one of the best, if not the best, in that genre. It is just a masterfully done film. If you haven't seen this film, I don't know what you've been doing for the last 40 years or so, but you need to see Halloween. And this is really the best way to watch it. This is the new 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc that just came out this week. And I have to say, I am very, very impressed with this disc. This disc is very well done. The picture quality on this for a movie that's 40 years old, this might be the oldest movie that I own right now in terms of 4K. I'd have to double check that, but I think this is the oldest one. And I have to say, this movie looks amazing on this new 4K disc. This is a release from Lionsgate, and it actually has the older version of the Blu-ray in it, not the one that came out last year, a few years ago, I should say, but one that came out back in like 2000, I think like 2007 or something, 2008. So it's an older Blu-ray that's inside, but the 4K disc is the one I'm going to be talking about today. This new 4K transfer is very, very impressive. For a 40-year-old film, it looks amazing. The colors on it, though, are not the greatest I've ever seen. That's the only thing about this. And the disc actually does have Dolby Vision on it, which is kind of surprising. But for a Dolby Vision disc, it really is not the most vibrant picture. The movie is very dark. It's inherently dark. The movie takes place almost like, I think half the movie takes place at night. So most of the film, it's in dark houses, a dark street. It's very, very dark overall. But I do have to say, this movie does look very good on this new disc. The main upgrade for this disc, I should say, is the black levels. This movie looks amazing. It is also very dark in terms of picture. The older Blu-ray that's included is way brighter. This is like a whole other beast. This really brings out what the 4K format can do for black levels and shadows for movies. The black levels on this are almost perfect. You don't ever really get a lot of crush. If you're watching it on a TV that has a very, very good backlight, or an OLED, I should say, this disc is going to look amazing. The end scenes where Michael Myers is chasing Jamie Lee Curtis around, those final couple scenes are really, really impressive on this disc. And it's a standout in terms of black levels that I've seen so far in the format. The HDR, however, leaves a little bit to be desired. There are some scenes near the opening that do look pretty good in terms of colors, but I was really hoping for a little bit more. Again, it's a very subdued film. The film is not like full of bright colors here and there. There's not even a lot of blood in this movie. A lot of people think this is like a very bloody film. There's barely any blood in this movie at all, and it's still scary. But really, the movie, it benefits from the HDR because you do get a slightly altered color palette throughout the film. Certain greens and blues look a lot nicer on this disc than they do on any other Blu-ray that I've ever seen. The 35th anniversary that came out a few years ago, that Blu-ray was outstanding. This is just a little bit better. This is really the best this movie is probably ever going to look, to be honest with you. I just don't know how they would improve it in any way, shape, or form. The only other caveat besides the HDR being not so hot is that it's a 7.1, I think it's a Dolby 7.1 mix. Yeah, it's a 7.1 True HD mix, which I think is the same thing that was on the 35th anniversary version of the film. And it's fine. It's a very clear, crisp audio. But really, the main reason to watch this is for the outstanding clarity of the picture. I can't say enough how crisp and clear this movie looks on this 4K disc. There is a slight grain in the picture. There is really no DNR or noise reduction that I could see being done. This movie just looks like $1,000,000, and it's only going to cost you about $18 at Walmart. That was the steal of the century. This movie is just an outstanding release. It's a great 4K release, and I am so looking forward to the new Halloween that's coming out in a few weeks. This is a masterpiece of a film. This is a fantastic 4K Blu-ray disc. I highly recommend you pick up Halloween in 4K. Anyway, I'm Andrew Cavanaugh. Thank you for coming back to Cavanaugh's Corner, and I'll see you next time. Good night.